2 minutes to broadcast. One minute till broadcast. "30 seconds to broadcast." 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Live from the Hoosier Media Studios. This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Hoosier Media Network.
Boy, what a show we have ready for you today. Hey, welcome into the program. It is The Voice of Reason here on the Hoosier Media Network, broadcasting live all over the place. We are hanging out, doing the thing on a Friday, which makes it very happy for you and I, right? Yeah, pretty much. That's right. Great to have you along, whether it may be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all that good jazz. Plus, we do have the Podbean live site up and rolling as well. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it very much. Boy, it's going to be a fun show. It's a free-for-all Friday. We don't have any guests, which means you can chat about anything you want to. So we have the comment section up on the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, all that jazz. We see the chat room, so I can see when you comment. Also on the Podbean live stream, you can comment on any questions or anything that we talk about. I find it hilarious. You know how irony sometimes is so beautiful that you can just taste it? You ever had that feeling once in a while? You ever have that moment where sometimes the hypocrisy is so thick that you can cut it with a butter knife, and it just feels so sweet and wonderful when it's done right, and it's done properly? There was a Bernie Sanders rally, apparently in Arizona, where there was a Nazi flag that was flown from protesters at the Bernie Sanders rally. Now, of course, the media is running with it, and everybody's up in arms, and all the Democrats think it's absolutely abhorrent that we would actually have any type of swastika or Nazi flag flown, especially at a candidate who's running who's Jewish, because that's just taboo, so taboo. Now, that being said, Bernie Sanders doesn't actually run with his whole Jewish ancestry. He really doesn't have anything to do with that. He doesn't talk about it much in any way, shape, or form. He is technically Jewish, and yet that is offensive. Let's first off be very straight. That is offensive, having a swastika or a Nazi flag being flown at any rally whatsoever. However, we've done this before, but for all the new listeners, and maybe the some that don't necessarily agree with this statement, I want to run something past you. What was the platform that Hitler ran under when he ran for government in Germany? First off, let me ask you what party he ran under. Any answers? Especially from the progressives, I really want you to get this. Any answers on what party he ran under when he ran for office? Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the National Socialist Party of Germany. What does Bernie Sanders describe himself as? A democratic socialist. But Andy, democratic socialism and real socialism are like two totally different things. Like, one, they just come in and take over everything. The other one, we vote them in so they can like take over everything for us, but we have like power over them, like totally and stuff. I'm trying to figure out the difference between socialism and democratic socialism, but he ran under the National Socialist Party of Germany, where he ran under with the recession that was going on in Germany, saying that if he were elected, he would be able to rebuild the economy by redistributing wealth, by taking money from the banks and from the wealthy individuals, by being able to regulate the manufacturing companies, because we don't like those companies getting all that profit, and we need to share that wealth. We need to guarantee individuals that government education. We need to guarantee everybody to have that nice living and housing and food and all that good jazz. We need to guarantee that we will take away all those firearms so that way no one can cause any issues, because we're here for each other. Why would you need guns when we're here to work together? The whole let's eliminate 6 million Jewish individuals came a little bit later after he got into office, and no one could do anything about it. He didn't run under that. He ran, as every politician does, sitting down, kneeling down with the kids, reading them a story, taking pictures with them, telling them about the horizon, telling them how great the nation's going to be, as soon as you give the government the power in order to do such a thing. So what is the platform of the Bernie Sanders movement? Taking away the guns, giving the education for free, taking over the manufacturing and regulating them, taking money from the wealthy people to provide it to others by redistribution. Are you sensing a pattern here? Socialism is socialism is socialism is socialism. You can try and put a nice little bow on it. You can try and make it all nice and fluffy. You can try and make it look as sexy as you'd like to do so, but at the end of the day, it is still the same thing. And I'm not saying that Bernie Sanders wants to eliminate 6 million individuals. I am not saying that in any way, shape, or form. Do not try to misrepresent or twist what we're trying to say. What we are trying to say is the idealism that government can solve your problems is the exact parallel from what Bernie Sanders is doing now to what Hitler tried to do then. The government will take care of the problems. So it is ironic that while they yell and scream at Donald Trump of being a fascist and being a Nazi and being Hitler, John McCain even tried to do that, but Donald Trump's a Hitler, Donald Trump's a Nazi, whatever he tried to say, that all of those accusations, where they're not actually true, and then they actually are true when it comes to a progressive socialist mindset, and yet they get all worked up about it. And the media won't talk about the times where, people go in and call Donald Trump Hitler. They won't run with that story. They very, very rarely reported the fact that John McCain said that Donald Trump was a Hitler. They didn't report that a whole lot. They were just like, that's kind of cute. Look at that. Internal battling from their own party. They didn't really do that. But this, that gets them all worked up. How could you possibly try and say that Bernie Sanders would be promoting something like Hitler? And the progressives won't get it. They'll put on the blinders. They'll be like, no, it's totally different. It's not like Venezuela. It's not like, communist Russia. It's not like Cuba. It's totally different. It's like Denmark and Sweden and Switzerland and all the nice little Nordic regions where they had this nice little socialist thing, which they're not. And we've explained that many times before, where they actually have privatized pension plans, where they have privatized companies that actually do their stuff. Yeah, they do have a little bit higher taxes, but we also have high taxes on the lower end compared to what they do. So yeah, we do things a little bit different, and they say it works for them. That's awesome. Good for them. It wouldn't work for us. We're too big, and it would flop miserably. So they can say it all they want to, doesn't make it actually accurate here for the United States. And he can say he's trying to base it off of them, but he obviously doesn't even know there. Denmark has not gotten rid of firearms. In fact, it's mandatory to join the military, and you must carry a firearm. Like, they encourage it. Oh, here's your groceries, and here's a 9mm. Ha, there you go. It's like living in Texas. Yeah, see? See what it did there? Yeah. Texas. That good old red state, that's more like Denmark than any other state. Let me tell you what. On the front of that, we have a lot to get to today. We're going to try and sneak in as much of this. I want to talk about his platform for a second, because now that Bernie is losing in the delegates and Joe Biden is gaining that momentum, Bernie Sanders is trying to find a way to be able to rebuild that momentum with different potential running mates that he's going to have with his breakdown of his plan. He has proposed a way to fund every one of his trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of spending programs that he wants to do. He's actually set some type of proposal to make it happen. So I do want to try and go over some of that today on the program. But real quickly, I want to give you an update on the coronavirus. It's still apparently very big news. 101,000 people have been confirmed having it. 3,400 deaths total, and 55,000, almost 56,000 people have recovered from it all over the world, and it's popping up in more places all over the nation. We're seeing now the fear that it may be in the White House and in Washington, D.C. They're very concerned about it there. According to the Drudge Report, we have, it's funny, now there's the big story that apparently people don't want to go to adult entertainment places in Las Vegas because of fear of transferring coronavirus, which is hilarious. And adult films don't want to be filming adult films right now in fear of the spreading of coronavirus as well. Like, this is going to a totally crazy level here where everybody is in absolute panic. Now, that just means that very few people actually understand the coronavirus is nothing more than a severe cold, a severe flu. And yes, people have died from it. More people die from the flu every single year. We read this a few days ago. 300,000 to 500,000 people a year die from the flu worldwide. So far, 3,000 people have died from the coronavirus. Doesn't mean that it's not going to spread and cause more deaths, unfortunately, but we're causing a panic that I don't think needs to actually be there. And they've tried, I told you this before, they tried to turn it to Donald Trump for not actually handling it appropriately. He's not containing it. It's all his fault, which I ask, how is any individual person or any individual group going to be able to contain a virus that's in the air or that is transferred by people? You go to the store and just look at 3 people and they automatically have coronavirus. I mean, that's the matter of fact. How can you contain something like that? according to Infowars.com, that there are Costco customers over in the UK that when you walk into Costco, the service agent, that checks your card to make sure you're a member of Costco, make sure you're a member of Sam's Club, that sort of thing, they're spraying them with disinfectant at the door. Welcome to Costco. Have a nice day. Like, that's where we're at now. They're so panicked. They're spraying the guests with disinfectant as they walk into the door. And they have a video of it. They have a video as people are walking in, and he's like, there you go. Have a nice day. I guess it'd be Britain. So, hello, Governor. There you go. But that's the craziness. Now we're seeing that there's a potential tax cut or tax incentive for some individuals because of the fact that there are so many industries that are being affected by this. When have we ever seen tax breaks? I mean, tax breaks are nice. I like tax breaks. I like tax incentives. When is it okay for us to all of a sudden do that just because there are people sick? Here's according to the StanfordAdvocate.com, airlines, travel, and cruise industries are all hurt by the coronavirus, could get a tax relief from the White House. I sense an opportunity here. Now, that's great. Okay, you know what? People don't want to go on cruises. I guess there was a California cruise where like 21 people were confirmed with coronavirus on the cruise, so they tried to quarantine them, and they had a big epidemic that spread all over the cruise. That's fine. Whatever. People are sick. Okay. I sense an opportunity here. The media tries to blame Donald Trump for the spreading of the coronavirus in the United States, saying he's not handling it appropriately, saying that Vice President Mike Pence shouldn't be the one actually taking care of this issue, saying that he's getting rid of people that are actually in position to handle this. We saw the headline about, what's his name, Azar? Yeah, Alex Azar, who's the head of the CDC, is actually being sidestepped here and not allowed onto the panel about what they're going to do. According to Politico.com, the White House on Wednesday also benched Azar from the coronavirus task force press briefing for whatever reason. Now, they did include his deputies, including Medicare Chief Seema Verma and Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Steve Hahn, but they didn't include them. So they're under attack. Everybody's panicky. What to do. What are we going to do about this? They're blaming Trump. They're saying the economy is taking a dive because of Trump and because of people that are out of work. I sense an opportunity here. And maybe President Trump is listening to this broadcast, so we'll see. If he's going to give a tax break to travel and cruise industries because people are not wanting to travel because of the coronavirus, I think this is the opportunity, President Donald J. Trump, for you to push for your Tax Cuts 2.0 right now and force Congress to vote yay or nay on them right now and say that people are not working as much because of the coronavirus. They need help with their bills because they're not able to work as much as they could, or we're afraid that we potentially could get sick and not be able to work as much as we potentially could. Therefore, we need a secondary tax cut right now across the board for everyone, so that way we have more money in our pockets to try and save up for that rainy day if we have to take additional sick days than what we're used to doing, or if we have to go to the doctor and actually have some type of medical bills come in that we can take care of them. Turn it back on the progressives. Because the progressives right now are livid at Donald Trump. He's not handling this right. Mike Pence, he's only praying for it. He's not actually taking care of it. He's praying to his crazy God thing, and he's actually not doing anything about it. Donald Trump, that guy, he's been hyped up on the economy. He's been hyped up on how well the GDP is growing, but yet it's going to tank under the coronavirus. And we're going to continue to spread fear and panic. We're going to continue to make people lose their minds over the coronavirus because 3,000 people have died. Doesn't matter, 500,000 people a year die from the flu, but coronavirus, a form of the flu, it even says it on Lysol cans. It will kill the coronavirus because the coronavirus has been around. It's nothing more than a flu agent, pure and simple. That's all it does. And Lysol will kill it, which is why they're spraying people in the face with it when they walk into a Costco. That's great. It's outstanding. But because of this, this is an opportunity. Turn it back on the progressives and the media for once. If they're going to attack President Donald Trump for a bad economy and the economy beginning to tank and the Dow or the NASDAQ or whatever they say is going to drop because of people not working and the outlook on the economy because of people being sick because of the coronavirus, turn it back on them and say, fine, we will cut taxes for people across the board so they can save more money and prepare for that rainy day, either for future medical bills or those future sick days that they're going to have to take unpaid from their jobs. Focus on the middle class. And when Republicans and President Trump do that, I guarantee you that all of the power, all of the nice little control the media has had over him with this issue goes out the door. Goes out the door. They can't do anything. Because they're like, oh, well, no, we shouldn't give them more money because they're sick. And therefore, we just need, like, government health care. Yeah, that way they wouldn't have to. Then you say, what, you don't want people to work more to actually, like, get more money in their paychecks, right? Don't want them to be financially secure. Don't want them to be in that situation where they can handle a medical bill if it comes in because they have to go to their doctor and actually get pharmaceuticals that many government programs don't even cover. Turn it back on them because that's the only thing you can do. Government's not going to solve it. Cut taxes. Boom. Psh. Hey, Nancy Pelosi. If you really cared about the people pooping in your streets in San Francisco and not spreading the coronavirus everywhere, maybe you should cut some taxes. They say it would actually help if you got rid of student loans, have more money in your pocket to be able to spend more money, right? But they don't want to do it when it comes to actually cutting taxes. I find it fun. Turn it around back on them, but this coronavirus thing is going absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, and it's taken to a whole new level to where they want to give tax relief to different industries that have been hit by it. First off, no, I don't agree personally with that. Yeah, I want tax relief for everybody, not just industries that got hit by it. Because you know what? That's the industry. When there's a flu epidemic that's out, people don't like to go. When there's financial burdens and the GDP is really low and inflation's really high and people can't afford a lot of money, then yeah, you know what? There's industry that gets hit. We don't give them tax relief. This is essentially an auto bailout because of a sickness. When the auto industry took a tank, George W. Bush, hey, my friends, we're going to sign this and we're going to give them a bailout. Barack Obama took that and quadrupled it with his massive bailouts on the omnibus bills. And Donald Trump now wants to do it for the industries affected by the coronavirus. I understand what he's trying to do. I don't agree with it. If he wants to do a tax cut relief, do it across the board. Very simple. Do it across the board. Let's go ahead and take a break here. I got, let's see, when we come back, let's shift gears a little bit. Bernie Sanders, there is a very, very, you can tell it's just dripping with opinion off here that I want to read to you and get your thoughts on about how even millennials trying to appeal to the young crowd like myself that does not like Bernie Sanders, saying that we may not want him, but we need him. This is their desperate way to try and win back over some of the young votes that don't actually want to vote Bernie Sanders or others that may not want to vote for Bernie Sanders. I want to read that article when we come back. Plus, we'll get into some of his plans, the promises. Can they pay for it? How do we go about it? Also, there's a university that refuses to raise the tuition rates for students, and they're getting heat for it. They don't want to raise tuition rates. And colleges are like, you kind of have to because that's just what we do because we can make more money. So we'll cover all that and more. I want you to leave a comment no matter where you may be. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. Plus, we have the Podbean live stream up and rolling as well. Do me a favor. Go on to HoosierReason.com. There's some new information up, a new blog on there that I want you to read. There is some changes coming very soon. I don't know if you noticed or not, but the background behind us, if you're watching the video stream, is a little bit different. We are in the process of moving, and we are going to be off the air for about 2 weeks. A week and a half to 2 weeks. So bear with us. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to hear from us at all. That means that we are going to be giving updates, just not in a format, hour-long show format. We will be doing some changes, doing some upgrades. We're going to be moving where the Hoosier Media Network studio is actually going to be located. So bear with us. Stay tuned in. Pay attention. We're not going anywhere. We're just going on temporary leave while we move the studio to a bigger and better place. So hang in there and don't fade away. We'll keep you posted. But do me a favor. Go to HoosierReason.com. You can find us on all the social media as well. Just find the hashtag @HoosierReason on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, on all of it. Just go to Hoosier Reason. You can find us, follow us. Instagram as well. We'll be starting to post. I really haven't posted a whole lot of photos on there, but I will. I will because I want to give you, as we are doing this business, this actual like Hoosier Media Network business, as we do this, we're going to be showing you the step-by-steps on the internal things that what we're doing because why? You're part of the family. You really are. You're part of the family of the Hoosier Media Network and the Voice of Reason. So I'll be posting some photos, giving you some updates on all this, but do me a favor, subscribe to the newsletter at HoosierReason.com. The newsletter went out today, so you missed this month's newsletter, but that way we're going to be sending some information, some emails regarding the show and some of the updates that we're doing with the show. But we will be off the air for about 2 weeks. Just about 2 weeks. and it's going to be bigger, better, faster, and stronger, better than you've ever seen it before, and I'm really excited about it. So we'll keep you posted, and just wonder what kind of changes are going on where you can actually see the Voice of Reason and where we're going to be relocating here very, very soon. So stay tuned in. More information coming up on that. Can't tell you exactly where we're going right now, but you can stay tuned in and we'll keep you posted with some of that stuff happening. This is the Voice of Reason here on the Hoosier Media Network. Stay tuned.
It's been a long, fun, nerve-wracking, and exciting journey to relaunch the program as an independent entity. Now we've launched our very own Hoosier Media Network to give you more content, more shows, more talk, on even many more different topics as well. We now have full reign to help fight for constitutional principles, traditional values, and even just individual improvement. But we need your help to reach more people. If you own a business or you want to help the show in any way, we're excited to work with our partners to take your message and ours to the next level. Together, we can educate, entertain, and bring wisdom and information to those who want it and to those who possibly need it. Let's fight for what's right together. Email us today at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, if you're a business owner looking to get your brand out or someone that just wants to help support the cause, we want to support you and support that cause as well. Email us at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Also, for more information, content on the show, or to reach us as well, go to HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. As the show keeps growing, I want to make sure each and every Hoosier-holic stays in the loop. That's why you need to check out HoosierReason.com. Catch the weekly blog informing you on the latest news of the show, upcoming projects, and more. Plus, you can watch live shows, listen to all the podcasts, find affiliates of the show, catch special features, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to subscribe to our site and become an official Hoosier-holic. Get your monthly newsletter, latest news about the show, and recaps of current events all right to your email. It's the fastest growing show in America. Don't miss a beat. Go to HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. Want to join the show? We'd love to hear your thoughts during the program. And it's easy. First, send us a chat on the Facebook Live or YouTube Live streaming during the show anytime. Also, join us in the live chat room at HoosierReason.com. Just click on the Listen Live tab, watch the live stream, and chat with other listeners. You can also chat and even call into the show through the Podbean app. Just download the Podbean app on your smartphone, join the live stream, chat with other listeners, and even call us live through the Podbean app. You can argue with me, debate with me, or just let me know your thoughts of the show. No matter how you do it, be part of the show. Why? Because it's your show, and it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. The Voice of Reason, the show where you can chat, comment, or call in live each day during the program. All the information's at HoosierReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier with the Voice of Reason. I know it's a lot, but make sure to join us and follow us on all the social media platforms you use for all your updates. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Minds.com, Instagram, you name it, we're on it. Just search Hoosier Reason on all the platforms. Watch live shows, information about the show, the latest chat about current events, and more. Just search Hoosier Reason on any of your favorite social media sites and keep some reason in your day. It's kind of the reasonable thing to do. It's the Voice of Reason all over social media. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of ways to watch, learn, and be entertained while enjoying the Voice of Reason anytime that you want. And here's how to do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HoosierReason.com and subscribing to the site newsletter to stay up on the latest. Second, subscribe to the podcast. Under the show podcast tab, click on the link to the Podbean site and subscribe. You'll get notified anytime new audio pops up. Plus, if you have iTunes or Spotify, you can subscribe to the Voice of Reason on those as well and have the shows automatically downloaded to your device. Third, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com and search my name, Andy Hoosier, and subscribe to the page. There you can follow all of our live shows, posted videos, and more. All the links and info are at HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com.
Broadcasting live from the Hoosier Media Studios. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
There we go. It helps if I actually turn back on the microphone. Hey, welcome back into the broadcast here on a Friday. It's a Friday. What do you expect? Ha! Doesn't really matter. We are broadcasting live all over social media, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Plus, we have the Podbean live stream up and rolling. A comment on there saying, Andy, I think that they're just like spraying the carts. And they probably are. Here's what's probably happening. Is they're probably spraying the disinfectant spray onto the carts, and that way people can like grab them, and they probably have the disinfectant wipes that people can wipe on as they walk into the store. But there are many reports of many individuals saying that they are getting sprayed in the face or getting sprayed themselves as they walk into the store at Costco because they're so concerned about this. I don't get it. And we were actually going to have a doctor on talking about the coronavirus. We were going to on Wednesday, didn't get a chance to get him on. We tried to reschedule for tonight. He wasn't able to, so we'll get him on in a few weeks. But it is crazy to me how we're making such a big deal out of this coronavirus when it's nothing more than just the average flu. Maybe a little bit more severe, but it's like a mainstream thing. Lysol cans have it saying killing coronavirus, which please don't spray Lysol around me. That gives me truly, honestly, the worst headache in my entire life. My wife cannot spray Lysol in the home. I can't. She sprays it on the other side of the house. I will take one whiff of it, and I will have a headache for like 3 hours straight. I don't know how many other people feel that way. It drives me nuts. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the aerosol in it. I don't know if it's the smell of it, the flavor of it, I guess, when you smell it. I don't know what it is, but it hurts. Headache for hours, nonstop, whenever I end up taking a whiff of Lysol. So I would rather have the congestion sniffle garbage, which I swear I have the coronavirus. I tried the vodka last night. I ate the jalapenos and the serrano peppers yesterday. I'm trying, and it's just not going anywhere. So there it is. All right. Anyways, the kryptonite. I think it is. My kryptonite is Lysol. Spray me with a little bit of Lysol, and I will automatically have a headache for hours. So bad guys out there, you don't want me to win a political debate, I guess, come in the studio and spray some Lysol and then try and debate with me, because then I'll be completely distracted and not be able to actually compete on my highest level. I don't know. Might try that sometime. I got to beat my kryptonite, man. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit here, shall we? As you know, being a conservative, being as a Republican, I am not the biggest Bernie Sanders supporter in any way, shape, or form. He is probably the absolute worst candidate that could possibly, well, I take that back. I don't like his policies. I think it would be hysterical for him to get the nomination because I think he would be absolutely destroyed if President Donald Trump went head-to-head with him in a 2020 general election. However, being a millennial, 31 years old myself, there are many within our own generation that feel the very opposite of that and are very much Bernie Sanders supporters. Then there are the media reports and these blogs. First off, I don't know if you've heard of this, thehardtimes.net. I'm assuming this is a blog. It's a very quick little blurb, but it's a pitch to try and win over my generation by appealing to our emotions in order to say you may not like Bernie Sanders, but you need him. He is the necessary evil in your life that you really need to help take care of you. Yesterday, we talked with Eric Rittmeyer, a great mental toughness expert when it comes to politics, and how emotion plays into politics day in and day out. That's why you see very angry one-line little zingers on Twitter, which I hate. You see the nice little rants on Facebook. You see the whatever on social media. That's all it is. It's just the angry brah, because it's all emotional. I like politics when you get past that. You get past the bumper sticker argument. You get past all the emotion, all past like the one-line zingers and the talking points that everybody has. And once you get deeper into the discussion, then you can actually have a civil conversation and realize that you may disagree with someone, but you can still pat them on the back and have a beer with them at the end of the day. Or they're a complete jerk and you just don't want anything to do with them. Nonetheless, there is an argument out there pandering to those that say if you don't like Bernie Sanders, you have to admit that you need him, that he needs you and you need him. This is according to the hardtimes.net. Now, I'm going to blurb some of this out because it has bad language in it. It's written weird. It's written as if it's a dialogue between two people. A gal who is a millennial who doesn't like Bernie Sanders, but then needs him, and her friend who hosts a conservative podcast, blog, whatever, and then they go back and forth. I think this is all shenanigans. I think this is all fake, but this is the way they're going to try to appeal to us. Because remember, we don't know what's best for us, right? And if we could just get to admit that we need Bernie. I don't like Bernie Sanders, but I need him. I need him in the world full of student loan debt. I need him in a world where I can't afford health care. I need him in a world where we can't afford my education. I need him because I can't get as rich and wealthy as those rich and wealthy people that have riches and wealth. I may not like it, but you just need to cough up your pride and accept that you need that help. I'll be the first to admit I am very prideful in the sense that I do what I need to take care of my family. I do what I need to stand on the principles and the morals that I stand for, that I try and not play ridiculous games that others try to play. I try to be very prideful in that sense. At the same time, there's a difference between pride and then just stupidity. And sometimes people like to put on that blinder, and when you prove them wrong, then they just bulk up and they get angry, and then they just don't want to listen to reason, which is why this is the voice of reason, because we try and base our opinion based on that reason and that fact. So this is the dialogue. Let me know your thoughts on whether this is a reasonable discussion and whether we just need to admit as conservatives that we may not like him, but he's a necessary evil in society and that we need Bernie Sanders. This is according to them out of Annapolis, Montana. Sick, debt-ridden voter Roz Benoit doesn't really love Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders, but kind of really needs him to win to actually stay alive, according to multiple debt collectors that have confirmed. Quote, "I'm no blanking commie socialist freeloading scumbag. I'm a true blanking patriot. I stand for the anthem. I bleed red, white, and blankety-blank blue, and don't you forget it," exclaimed the 34-year-old bedridden Maryland native. Quote, "As someone from a traditionally Christian conservative household, there are quite a few things about Sanders I absolutely cannot stand. However, as a person with stage 3 pancreatic cancer who doesn't qualify for health insurance through her employer, I kind of truly need him to win." Despite the cancer diagnosis, those close to Benoit don't understand her support for Sanders. Quote, "Yeah, surviving cancer is a big deal, but what's the point of living when America starts running like Soviet Russia?" according to Benoit's longtime friend and host of the conservative podcast Rich, White, and Born to Win, Eddie Morrison. Come on, right there. Right there. You should be like, there's a flag. Roz has been working out of the docks of Annapolis since we graduated high school. A real blue-collar working class type. I never thought I'd see the day where she stopped picking herself up by the bootstraps and start wasting away in bed asking for free handouts. It's pathetic. Benoit admitted she feels completely alienated from her family and friends since mentioning how badly she didn't want to die. Quote, "I can't tell the worst part about all this is losing the respect of everybody I ever knew, or the excruciating internal aching I feel every waking minute of my agonizing life. I just kind of forced to give Bernie Sanders my vote because he's literally the only candidate who won't shut up about doing everything he can to ensure sick people can get the medical attention they need. The only thing that scares me more than socialism is the cold embrace of death, or having to call them or pay for an ambulance." This is the story that's supposed to win over Bernie Sanders support or non-Bernie Sanders supporters. At the press time, Benoit posted a link of her GoFundMe asking for donations towards her medical bills to an Investigate Hillary's emails message board. Excuse me. All right, let's go through this story, shall we? Now, this is supposed to be, I don't know if this is supposed to be like some kind of fake ad for Bernie Sanders, if this is just a blogger that's like, hey, this'll really get him, I'll take a little jab at the Trump supporters, or if this is legitimately a way that people are supposed to speculate and ponder and be like, gee, I wonder how we get through these hard times. We may not need Bernie, or we may not want Bernie Sanders, but we need Bernie Sanders. I'm no blankety-blank communist socialist, but I need to live. And then, of course, her friend with the podcast, Rich, White, and Born to Win. "I just don't understand what the big deal is having pancreatic cancer. She should just lift herself up from her bootstraps and get back to work. Why is she withering away in bed asking for free stuff?" You can tell by the writer this is obviously a one-sided opinion to where this is their interpretation of what conservatives feel. And it's not, which is two things. Either they're an idiot or we don't do a very good job explaining our side of the story. I go for the first one, where they're just an idiot, because we never said that. We never say, hey, you know what? You got cancer. Sorry, we're not going to cover that. Get back up and get working, you lazy bum. No one has ever said that on either side of the aisle, and I think that's offensive for someone to actually think that that's the way we would approach an issue like this. Our system is broken. Yes, it is broken largely due to the Obamacare that was put into place a few years back in the United States. It is broken because we've done nothing to repeal it. It's broken because we've seen doctors, family physicians have to close doors because of insurance companies. We've seen insurance companies double and triple premiums. We've seen them cover less to where you have to pay more out of pocket with your deductible before they even start covering any of your bills. And even when you do cover your deductible, then they cover even less of it, including less specialists and including less pharmaceuticals. So tell me where we went wrong. Was it because we didn't have enough government in it? Or was it because we had too much government in it? Now, for them to think that we're just rich and white and just born to win and we just win and we hate people that lose, because that's the mentality that they say Donald Trump has, for them to think something like that, to me, is very offensive. I'm hurt by that. I'm taken aback by that. How dare you think that we don't care about individuals? This is what we need to do in politics. You want to talk about the emotion in politics? We need to rid the emotion from politics. It is not an emotional thing. You need to be very hard, very cold, very analytical, and very factual. Because when you are those things, the emotion is by default a secondary response to where when you do the right thing based on the analytics and the facts, the emotion can come at thereafter. Excuse me. And when we try and fight for the right thing, people actually get taken care of properly. All right, we'll take a break. We're still trying to fight this daggone coldness driving me nuts. We'll take a break real quick. We'll finish this. Your thoughts on this story? Is it the attempt to win over people to Bernie Sanders for us to admit that maybe we just need him even though we may not like him? Or is it just the radicals trying to find a way to demonize us and make us look bad? We'll do that when we come back. Stay here.
It's been a long, fun, nerve-wracking, and exciting journey to relaunch the program as an independent entity. Now we've launched our very own Hoosier Media Network to give you more content, more shows, more talk, on even many more different topics as well. We now have full reign to help fight for constitutional principles, traditional values, and even just individual improvement. But we need your help to reach more people. If you own a business or you want to help the show in any way, we're excited to work with our partners to take your message and ours to the next level. Together, we can educate, entertain, and bring wisdom and information to those who want it and to those who possibly need it. Let's fight for what's right together. Email us today at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, if you're a business owner looking to get your brand out or someone that just wants to help support the cause, we want to support you and support that cause as well. Email us at HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, HoosierMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Also, for more information, content on the show, or to reach us as well, go to HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. As the show keeps growing, I want to make sure each and every Hoosier-holic stays in the loop. That's why you need to check out HoosierReason.com. Catch the weekly blog informing you on the latest news of the show, upcoming projects, and more. Plus, you can watch live shows, listen to all the podcasts, find affiliates of the show, catch special features, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, make sure to subscribe to our site and become an official Hoosier-holic. Get your monthly newsletter, latest news about the show, and recaps of current events all right to your email. It's the fastest growing show in America. Don't miss a beat. Go to HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of ways to watch, learn, and be entertained while enjoying the Voice of Reason anytime that you want. And here's how to do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HoosierReason.com and subscribing to the site newsletter to stay up on the latest. Second, subscribe to the podcast. Under the show podcast tab, click on the link to the Podbean site and subscribe. You'll get notified anytime new audio pops up. Plus, if you have iTunes or Spotify, you can subscribe to the Voice of Reason on those as well and have the shows automatically downloaded to your device. Third, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com and search my name, Andy Hoosier, and subscribe to the page. There you can follow all of our live shows, posted videos, and more. All the links and info are at HoosierReason.com. Again, HoosierReason.com. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. Want to join the show? We'd love to hear your thoughts during the program. And it's easy. First, send us a chat on the Facebook Live or YouTube Live streaming during the show anytime. Also, join us in the live chat room at HoosierReason.com. Just click on the Listen Live tab, watch the live stream, and chat with other listeners. You can also chat and even call into the show through the Podbean app. Just download the Podbean app on your smartphone, join the live stream, chat with other listeners, and even call us live through the Podbean app. You can argue with me, debate with me, or just let me know your thoughts of the show. No matter how you do it, be part of the show. Why? Because it's your show, and it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. The Voice of Reason, the show where you can chat, comment, or call in live each day during the program. All the information's at HoosierReason.com.
Live from the Hoosier Media Studios, it's the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, welcome back into the program here on the Hoosier Media Network on a Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday. Anything you want to talk about, you can leave me a comment or call us in. Here's how you can call the program. Download the Podbean app onto your smartphone. Just download it. It's super easy. It's really awesome. You can listen to other shows rather than just mine as well. There are so many. I got to give props to, by the way, to Podbean as well, because they have some really awesome shows on there. I've been going through and listening and subscribing to other programs as well. So if you're on Podbean and you have a show, shoot me a link on there. If you subscribe to me, I automatically respond and subscribe back to you. We hit our goal of having over 100 subscribers just a week ago, which is really cool. And now we are moving up, and we have a lot more than that. So we're going to 150, 200, and moving on up from there. It is so awesome to see all the downloads there. So if you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. You know, rub your back, I'll rub mine. You tweet and follow me on Twitter, I will follow you. That's just the way I roll, because we're growing. We're all growing together, and we're trying to create a unity here. We're trying to create a community that allows us to fight for what's right, what we need to fight for, because we have to do it together. We can't do it on our own. And I tell you what, this show has grown astronomically over the month. Have you realized we've only been doing this show 1 hour in the evenings for like a month and a half? It's crazy, and it feels like it's gone by so fast, but we're actually growing very, very quickly, so thank you for that. Now, here's the thing. We will be off the air for the next 2 weeks because we are in the transition of moving. I don't know if you're watching behind me, but the studio is looking a little bare. We will be off the air for about 2 weeks as we are relocating, as we are moving. I cannot tell you where as of right now, but stay tuned in. So here's how you can do it. First, go to HoosierReason.com. Go to the website. You can subscribe, become a Hoosierholic on there. You can just see the blog as well. We put a new blog up on the website, so you can stay tuned in that way. Also, any social media that you do with Facebook, with Twitter, with Twitch, with LinkedIn, with YouTube, with all that, stay tuned because we will be putting info on there as it goes along. I want to show you the step-by-step on what we're doing. It's going to be really cool. And once we finally get settled into our permanent place, we are going to have one heck of a studio. We're going to have one heck of a Hoosier Media Network, and it's going to be better than ever before. So stay tuned, and I'm so excited about it. And just hang in there and stay tuned. Some more information to come on that one. But again, go to HoosierReason.com, find the information. You can find all the shows, you can find the blog, you can find the info on the show, and everything that we are actually doing. Plus, if you subscribe to the newsletter, then you'll get it right in your email as well. All right, so now let me ask you this. This story, I find it interesting. This story about, I don't really like him, I'm a red-blooded American, I'm a patriot, I'm a worker, I'm a blue-collar person, but at the end of the day, I need Bernie Sanders because he's the only one talking about this, which is just not true. Factually incorrect. Because obviously, there are many individuals talking about what to do with health care, and just because we don't say the government needs to do all of it doesn't mean that that's the only option out there. It's ridiculous to think that that's the only option. This is the way they play it, is that if you don't want to change the status quo, completely destroy the house, rebuild it from scratch from the brand new foundation that is socialism in this metaphor, then you don't want to do anything instead of just like getting rid of the problem, cutting the hole out, and replacing it with something better. Now, our healthcare system has a lot of flaws, especially after Obamacare. Why would we go down that road even more? Why would you give the government more control over your health care? Because that doesn't make any sense in any way, shape, or form. That's a really dumb idea to do. It's already tripled our premiums. It's already made it more expensive, and maybe that was the point. Maybe that's what they wanted. Drive us out of the market to where we can't afford it, because every single time throughout the history of society, that whenever there's an issue, whenever things become unaffordable, whenever things get out of the price of the market, they look for the government for the assistance. They want the government to fix it for them. Because that's natural, isn't it? It's common practice. That's just in our DNA. We want someone to deal with it for us. We have now been so ingrained with a victimhood society that if we are a victim, then it's even easier for them to just be like, oh, all right, well, you know what? We'll go to the government and we'll be able to get it fixed for us. That's what we do. So if we have this, it's a necessary evil. We don't want the government to get involved, but at the same time, now I'm bedridden, I have pancreatic cancer, I don't know what else to do. Bernie Sanders is a necessity because he's the only one that's going to fix it for me. To me, this is completely missing the issue. The problem is so many people buy into this and be like, wow, look at that. We have a caller on the line, so let's go right to it, live from the Podbean app. Let's jump on it with Nick here. Nick, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, happy Free for All Friday, Andy Hoosier.
Happy Free for All Friday, brother. It's been a little bit. How you been?
I'm okay. I missed you a little bit the last few days, but I get on about 15 minutes before your show ends, and so I'm at least there for a little bit.
I love it. Well, we got a lot of good stuff cooking, man. And like I said, we'll be off for a few weeks, but we are relocating and rebuilding, and you'll see us again on here real soon.
Okay, what's the topic today?
It is the free-for-all, but so let me do a little recap on this story. I want your thoughts on this. Is this a Bernie Sanders ad? Is this a true media report? Or is this just the need for a necessary evil, the yin versus the yang? We don't like Bernie Sanders, but he is a necessary evil. I want to read you just part of this real quick here. This is a story from thehardtimes.net with a quote from a 34-year-old girl from Maryland. This says, quote, "I'm no blankety-blank commie socialist, freeloading scumbag. I'm a true blankety-blank patriot. I stand for the anthem. I bleed red, white, and blue. And don't you forget it. As someone from a traditionally Christian conservative household, there are quite a few things about Sanders that I absolutely cannot stand. However, as a person with stage 3 pancreatic cancer who doesn't qualify for health insurance through her employer, I kind of truly need him to win." According to her friends, they say, yeah, surviving cancer may be a big deal, but what's the point of living in America that's starting to run like Soviet Russia? According to her friend, who's a conservative podcaster called Rich White and Born to Win. Ross has been working out of the docks of Annapolis, and since we graduated high school, a real blue-collar, working-class type. I never thought I'd see the day where she stopped picking herself up from her bootstraps and start wasting away in a bed asking for free handouts. It's absolutely pathetic. Now, obviously, you know this story is completely bogus in order to try and prove a point, but the question is, many individuals, especially in my generation, the millennials, the early 30s, that do not like Bernie Sanders, the very few of us that do not like Bernie Sanders in our age group, is this going to win them over, that we may not like him, but in today's day and age, is he the necessary evil that we need in our politics?
Negative. If I may be so bold, he is a genius idiot. He knows what he's trying to do with getting people who don't understand the Constitution, don't understand anything about our history, and just playing them for the fools that they are. And I always hate to bring it back around to cannabis, but it always seems to come back around to cannabis. Whether it's a stage 3 or 4 person having problems, or a person that's a diabetic that can't afford insulin, we have capitalism at our heart. And drug pharmaceutical companies have a access point through lobbyists to make sure that their capitalism stays intact. What I'm talking about, and usually talking about, is a person should be able to put a seed in the ground and grow it and use it for whatever purposes they want, and not have to depend on the government for health care or nutrition or anything like that. I mean, yeah, capitalism is great. It is so great. And when it's bound to the Constitution, it works. But the problem is you have people who do like money, who are in fact disparate individuals, like to use the identity politics. Whether you're elites of the Democratic Party or elites of the Republican Party, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, evil is evil. And so when you get away from the Constitution, these are the consequences that you're going to have, as if you have to choose between Trump or Bernie Sanders, which way you're going to go. Well, Bernie Sanders has pulled the wool over the eyes of the American people younger than 35 or whatever, and others. And so we must come back to what the founders intended. Ron Estes had the best, awesomest talk interview the other day. You had him on, and it was spot on. Spot on. This is about tyranny. This is about us as citizens fighting tyranny in whatever form that it comes, including Bernie Sanders. So I'll let you talk for a minute, but that's my opinion.
No, you're absolutely right. And let's take this to another level here. I mean, this type of article really plays on people's vulnerabilities. They're the hard workers, or the patriots, or the ones that try to be the blue collar. They go to the factory every day. They may be sick with the coronavirus, but at the end of the day, they have bills to pay, so they strap on their bootstraps and they make it happen day in and day out. That is America. That is exactly who we are. And they're trying to play to that crowd with a ridiculous article like this. We saw a question from Scott on Podbean. Yes, that is exactly what her quote is in the article. My question is, how accurate is this actual article? Because it makes it sound like, well, even that it's that necessary evil, that we are so vulnerable, and it's trying to touch us in that emotional way that we don't want Bernie Sanders. We don't like what he does to the Constitution. We don't like what he does and what he says. At the same time, I'm in that position where maybe we want it to happen just slyly. I would never say it openly or vocally, but maybe we just have to have something like that happen. And that's what they're trying to do. They're that desperate. I think it's desperation, personally, where they say, we know you don't like him, but come on. You really need him, don't you? And I think that's what they're trying to play at here.
There is a faction or a cohort of people that are undecided, not only in the Kansas senatorial election, but also in the United States election. So when you're talking about people, they need to be understood about what Republicans stand for, what conservatives stand for, and be able to come onto that train. Because if we don't make that message clear and consistent, then they will go to the free crap. That's just the facts. And so when I come back around to the cannabis thing over and over again, it does go with our conservative values. And President Trump could absolutely, without a doubt, make sure that he puts a death knell into the 2020 election by taking executive action and taking cannabis off the Controlled Substances Act and not making it an issue for a Democratic sludge.
Well, that would be very interesting. You want to know something that would actually just run the ticket for Trump right away and not even have to worry about it? Here's what Joe Biden had to say just a day or two ago, yesterday actually, at a campaign rally with none other than Mr. Beto O'Rourke on stage with him.
Make something clear. I'm going to guarantee you this is not the last year seeing this guy. You're going to take care of the gun problem with me. You're going to be the one who leads this effort. I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. We need you badly. The state needs you. The country needs you. You're the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow, there it is. Beto O'Rourke back on stage with Joe Biden. And Joe Biden say that he will put Beto O'Rourke in charge of gun control in the United States. Now, this is the guy who went to the gun show that tried to work with gun owners, tried to say, and then, hell yeah, we're going to take your AR-15s. And then as soon as he did that, he ended up losing the race and dropped out because he had less than 1% chance of actually winning. Now they're going to utilize him to be put back into the ring to actually challenge gun control. If that is the big topic Joe Biden's going to focus on the campaign, it's a done deal already.
Andy, this pattern of abuse is here in the Republican Party as well. I'm not sure really much about Dalton Glasscock's proclivities when it comes to the Second Amendment, but I do know the LGBT agenda, QA, CAIA, whatever, is fashioning a lot of public policy in America, especially when you consider that the head of the American Psychiatric Academy is a gay man himself. And so those people are telling us who needs a mental fix, who needs medications and prescription drugs to fix their mental issues. But they're doing their own thing, and that is just ridiculous. And so we need to come back and focus on what Trump is doing with the economy, what Trump is doing with taxes, what Trump is doing in all of the things that is making America great again, and focus on those principles that we believe as constitutional conservatives to make sure that our republic does not die.
Hey, amen to that, brother. I completely agree. Hey, we're out of time for tonight, but Nick, I love the passion, brother. Fire it all up, and we're going to make some stuff happen. What do you say?
I love you, Andy. Peace out. You have a good night, okay?
Hey, you as well, Nick. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I absolutely love it. There it is. See, that's the passion. That's the energy. That's what you have to be able to change things in your community. Do it with yourself, and then you can do it for others around you, and you can prove that you just don't need the government to make it happen for you. That's all the time we have. Make sure to go to our social media on The Voice of Reason, at Hoosier Reason, all over our social media. Make sure to go to our website at HoosierReason.com. Make sure to stay tuned in, as we'll be off for a little bit as we relocate and move things around. But stay tuned. Don't worry. We'll be back, and we'll keep you posted every step of the way, because we're just awesome like that. Until then, everybody enjoy a Friday evening, and this is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is The Voice of Reason here on the Hoosier Media Network.